When working with vectors that will be exported as images, it's important to know when your vector points are lining up with whole pixel values. I'm Scott Tolinsky with Sketch, and in this video, I'll be showing you pixel precise editing in Sketch. In this example, we have a 48 by 48 pixel icon. If we zoom in, if we select the icon background, you'll notice that the position and size values are all whole number values. If we were to click and drag, you could see that the value is no longer a whole number value, and in this case has a 0.65. Now this is no longer a whole pixel value. Now what does that mean in the context of working on vector images that will be exported as images? Well, if we head to View, Canvas, we can select Show Pixels, and what we'll have here is now a pixel preview of this image. You'll notice that where we have our Y value, that's a non-whole pixel value, the top line is a bit more blurry, as well as the bottom line, where the edges on the sides of the background are still nice and clean. To see this change back, let's go ahead and select this, and I'm going to change the value back to 0. When I do that, you'll notice that the top and bottom edges are once again nice and clean. To see pixel boundaries a bit more clearly, we can head to View, Canvas, and then select Show Pixels Grid. Now what we see is the boundaries of every single individual pixel on our canvas. So even though we're working with vector images, you can still reliably know when you're going to be on a whole pixel value and when you're not. Now a moment ago when we moved this background, Sketch allowed the position to be set at a non-whole pixel value. To change this functionality, we can head to Sketch, Preferences, and in the General tab, you'll notice there's a pixel fitting option where we can select Fit layers and points to pixel boundaries. Now there's also checkboxes for pixel fit when resizing layers and pixel fit when aligning layers. This makes it so when working with your objects, you can be confident that you'll end up with whole pixel values. Now when we close this, we can click and drag the background, and you'll notice it's only moved at a whole pixel value. Okay, so now let's look at subpixel values while transforming an individual vector point. If we double click our icon background and select one of the points here, you'll notice that we can currently move this point freely around, and as we do, the X position is at a subpixel value. Now let's undo that. If you'll notice in the inspector, we have a select list that has some rounding options. Right now it's set to none. Therefore, we're going to be able to use any sort of non-pixel value. If we click this select list, you'll see that we have some options, such as round to half pixels or round to full pixel edges. If you select round to half pixels, you'll see upon when dragging this, the pixel values are only at whole or half pixel values. Again, let's undo that. Now if we select round to full pixel edges, you can see that when we move this point, it's only going to allow us to place this on full pixel values. Now there are some situations in which you wouldn't want a whole pixel value, such as when rotating an object here. If we were to rotate this object 20%, you can see that the X and Y positions are no longer on whole pixel values. However, the gear is still located correctly in the center of this icon. If we were to select this gear and then go to, say, Layer, round to nearest pixel edge, as you can see when snapping to a whole pixel value, the gear is now out of place. So that's one thing to consider when working with subpixel values. So that's why when rotating, you're not going to be automatically put on a whole pixel value. Sketch will prioritize leaving your object in the correct position. So now you have the tools to work in your vector files and have the confidence to make sure that your lines are going to be clean and crisp while maintaining a whole pixel value.